Okay, so as I've said many times before, we have a game submissions area in my Discord, and I make no promises because we have hundreds of submissions a month. But occasionally, you will get games featured from game submissions if they were good enough. And I believe the post from the individual that posted this said something along the lines of, "OMG, OMG, I have no clue how I won this game, OMG. This was crazy. I swear it's good, OMG." Something like that. And I could tell that they had just gotten out of the game and that they were nervous and shaking and they were still struggling to collect themselves. And so that, drew me to the game a little bit. Now, what you're going to see here, this is 1050 ELO. This may be titled as Low ELO Legends later on YouTube. YouTube, please don't be offended. People here on stream basically said, that's acceptable for me, all right? I don't know what I'll title it exactly, but I could tell you this game's a banger, and they both had very interesting strategies. So, in the north, we have Simbrogi, 1030 ELO at the time, playing as the Persians. And then down here in the blue, we have Raul. Raul is playing as the Huns. Persians, Huns, I'd say competitively, pretty close matchup. I think lots of Cav archers can be really tough for the Persians to deal with. So a late game composition of Cav archer and Halb, for example, could be awkward for the Persians. But the Persians have their camel, the Persians have their savar, they have all these things. But trust me when I say, those things are not necessarily the focus of this game, okay? This is not your typical arena game. I wouldn't be bringing it to you otherwise. Look at this build from Red. 1,000 ELO, 11 pop into the game, already on stone. All right. Well, going to be pushing in this deer here. Some of the things you'll see more around 1,000 ELO instead of the true lower ranks. And then over here on this side, blue, going to bring in the boar. Already has the lumber camp, just kind of your standard little dark age here. So, you know what I'm going to do, because it's been a long day, and because this is arena, I'm going to 2x speed it for this portion. That way we get to the real meat of the game a little bit faster here. But I don't know. 1,000 ELO players watching my stream right now. Would you guys say that you have good build orders? Good consistent build orders? Or do you think you have a lot of work to do? Because I've been watching other games from game submissions, and I find you got a wide mix. Some people, their builds click. They make a lot of sense to me. And then you kind of have some weird stuff too, which is really fun. Like the one villager on stone at 10 pop. You don't see that every day, but Red kind of has his own build. We might have a Simbrogi build to go off of after this. So someone says I have 2 good build orders, one for Arena and one for Arabia. Okay, so you say it's good. That's fair. And other people say more or less they feel they're fine. All right. Well, the expectation is fast castle. And in this matchup, what the pros would do is they would probably go scouts to control the relics and get map control. Now, they are kind of positioned off to the right-hand side with this generation. So it would be more awkward to use map control because in terms of mobility, because there's all this space off to the side. Typically, there's a lot more space between the player bases. But this can happen sometimes. Okay, so check this out. Again, this is the Simbrogi builds. It was 1 on stone, now 2 on stone, 0 farms, right? We've got 11 on berries. Now watch this. Scout fight is going to happen. I think we could probably slow it down here now. And Simbrogi wins the scout fight. So blue won't be able to see anything funky. It was a bit of a coin toss there, a little 50-50. And Red feeling good about life, scouting the walls, and set a waypoint in the wall by mistake. And the scout boinks it. Okay, so now both players don't have a scout, right? And I thought that was funny. I could have sworn that blue said something here. Yeah, blue laughs at him. I don't think he's laughing at him. He just thinks the situation's funny, and then Red just says yes. But I would like to think that Red was motivated by that laugh to dish out the punishment that we are about to see, okay? Because this is going to get crazy. Look at this. 16 on berries. I guarantee you, I know my chat. There's viewers right now that are like, what on earth? Like, I'm playing with people that go 16 on berries? What is this? Well, he's got a plan, okay? So let him cook. Gonna drop the market. He's obviously thinking fast castle, and he still has the stone in the bank. Blue as well. I mean, blue's gone pretty crazy. These two apparently very scared of building any Dark Age farms. Blue also with 15 on berries. So I'd never seen this before. I don't know exactly what I'm looking at. But blue should be able to click up to Castle Age, no problem. We'll have all the food in the bank. Red going to be able to click up no problem as well. They've had limited idle time on the TC. And so the reason I was a little, like, I get a little judgmental of a build like this is because usually you finish the berries and then you don't have resources to do what you want to do, right? All these villas go to, I don't know, a random straggler tree and can't do anything next. There's no next plan for these villas, so the build is bad, right? Well, wrong, because red has a plan. It's just not a normal plan. And so red is going to send all the villagers that are full HP forward and shifted a couple more villagers over to stone. And so now this kind of makes sense, right? Now you only have, a couple of these villas that don't have anywhere to go. These villagers have a plan. Red doesn't have a scout, but red did find blue already. And blue doesn't have a scout to see this is coming. And blue kind of screwed up his build a little bit, has to use the market just to try and click up, use the market again, and clicks up to Castle Age. And blue's plan, from my perspective, is just full boom. Like dropping TCs everywhere, and even mining more stone to even get like a big boom with 4 TCs. Blue is not exactly expecting what is coming. Now, I think red probably has experienced a lot of scout rushes and doesn't want this castle to be denied. So makes the barracks make some spears, which is pretty smart. And here come the vills. Here come the spears. But like red has no food income, okay? So this is a very all-in build from red. And what I like about it, like too many people, they build a safe castle. Screw that. If you're going to castle drop someone, you want it right on their walls, you want it right on their face, and you want it to hurt as quickly as possible. And now blue is going to have to notice this. I don't know if blue's noticed this at this point, but right next to the walls, the castle is going up, and it's about to get crazy here, okay? It's just like one of the craziest games I've seen on Arena in a very long time. And there's a reason that the winner of this game was just so stressed out about it. So then if there's not a castle on your face, I think the position for blue is pretty good. Like, again, you can immediately go to 4 TCs, produce vills out of most of them, and then balance out your eco slowly over time. Just get like a big, big economy. When there is a castle on your face, this could become a problem. Notice red not producing any vills. Red's actually shifted villagers over to gold, still on stone. And it's going to use the castle, and it's going to use the mangonel now to take out the gate. So I think blue's now trying to figure out what to do. Drops TC2, drops TC3. Also will drop a barracks. Also is going to drop a stable. But now, like, a lot of this wood that's being spent was initially going to be on farms. And it can't be on farms now. So the food eco isn't necessarily set up to support 3 TCs anymore either. So here comes the 30 vil, no vil production, all-in rush from red. And red makes his way into the opponent's base. And blue is all adaptation from here, right? So you guys know, like, you've been against castle drops before. It's tough, right? You have no clue what they're actually doing. They've broken into your base. It's really tough to feel comfortable in these situations. And it's very easy to make mistakes. And oh my God, blue, if you watch this video, please stop ringing the town bell for the love of God. You're 1,000 elo, bro. You're 1,000 elo. Just select the vills and press garrison. You're good. Sorry, I get really bent out of shape with the town bell these days. I've seen it one too many times. Anyways, blue's fine. Blue's fine. Adds in some knights to push back the pressure here. And red kills the monk as blue is trying to back away. And blue just uses the market. This is before the update, by the way. They recently did an update to make buying food more expensive. So this is pre-update. So a couple weeks ago. And he just buys food to go for pikemen. Basically, the update, I actually think it's a good change overall for the game. It makes it so actual eco balance matters a little bit more. But you can still do stuff like this. It just comes at a slightly greater cost. So, only a 6 villager lead for blue. But 3 TCs to produce vills out of. And as far as blue's concerned, things are okay. But not great, right? And this is right at the time where, you know, blue's probably feeling like, all right, I got to do something else. And red says, here's my something else. You remember what I said? If you're going to drop a castle, drop it deep. This is too deep. This is too far. You have no loom, and you're dropping a castle too close to the enemy TCs. This player's crazy. We got the siege from red, trying to siege down the TCs. He's going to shoot down the monk. A lot of red's villagers die because this is a little too close for comfort. And red has also weakened some of his own pikes. Red's got to be careful here because red has run into the TC and his own shots a couple times. The castle's going up. It's at 70%. Blue would love to deny this, but unfortunately, this castle is going to go up, guys. And this is horrible for blue. Horrible. So 26 vills for red. Hasn't produced a single villager since Castle Age. But this castle will take both these TCs out. Blue's going to, like, randomly lose his monastery. Blue's got 42 vills. 0 on gold. And he's just completely overwhelmed. Right? Now, my suggestion to red from this point is, like, try and shift into being a normal player and actually add farms. Actually start to add vills because you've done enough damage. But the frame of mind from red is still pressure, 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 pressure. Because this is probably what he does, right? Dorge says there's no way this is 1,000 elo. Dorge, you just creatively told us that you're 1,000 elo. So congratulations on the 1,000 elo. Okay, we have a castle for blue to try and defend this situation. And, I mean, a lot of people would have tapped out already. Apparently not Dorge. But, a lot has gone wrong, but a lot could go right here for blue. Blue can now access gold a little bit with all these vills. Blue's still got the TC back here. Blue is, like, now going to drop a TC back here, which is so ugly. But blue's, like, somehow alive. Red, kind of struggling with the next step. Because when the opponent builds the castle, you can't really progress past that at this point. Now, real quick, coaching time. Someone's pushing you in your base on arena. You've lost a lot of ground. What's something you need to do here, chat? I'm going to help all of you that get pushed, okay? What's something you need to do? There's a lot of different things. Counterattack, that's tough. Build the trebuchet, that's tough. You can't do it from here. A couple people were saying, Imp, can't do it from here. The answer is leave the base. Like, blue is like, oh, I'm so stuck in these little walls. Oh, no, I'm trapped. I'm trapped. Literally, just, like, leave, right? So, I understand the thinking, right? I think we all do. But if you ever get pushed like this, yeah, someone said spread like cancer. Like, literally, like, spread out. Because the all-in pushes are really concerted and focused in one area. They're not going to be able to focus on you expanding to the other areas. So, that's something blue hasn't done. And I just wanted to bring that up, you know, just in case you guys want to learn how to handle these situations. So, it's so funny because they keep buying food like crazy. But now red is going to become that quote-unquote normal player. So red says, all right, I've got 2 castles. I don't want to invest into any siege. Now we just boom. And so he's even selling off stone and buying wood for more TCs. So it was all in, no Vil production, into simply Vil production as basically his plan, right? Blue's still at 15 villager lead, but he has very little army. And here comes Blue with the Tarkan. Blue's going to hop out of that castle and try and kill the Mangonel. And nice shot from Red. Like, Red notices this, brings the pikes over. They were healing in the castle. Unfortunately for Blue, like, I thought this castle actually fully protected the gold. It really does not. So if Red is actually paying attention to this, this just gets even worse for Blue. And he's just so cramped. All his new Vils aren't going to a task. This is enough to make a lot of people resign, especially the score right now. The score is horrible because I guess Red scouted more of the map too. If I were 1,000 elo, I think I would probably have tapped already. Red is Persians as well, so he's able to produce pretty quickly from his TCs, but he does have to focus on that. And Blue at least gets a 1-for-2 trade. So Blue cramming every bit of eco he can into here and just refusing to quit. Now, I don't know how Blue is because I don't know anything about him. But some people, when they're up against like a really annoying strategy, they get like ultra focused, or even if they get really annoyed, they like refuse to die, right? Whereas if it's just like a normal game that they're used to encountering the situations, they'll kind of resign over anything. Like they lose one villain in a scout war on Arabia. Ah, okay, I'm out of here. But if someone freaking town center drops you, you're just like, "Hurrah!" And you get really like focused. I'd like to think that's where Blue is right now as a player. Because he's just really like, there's not a lot of space to move around. And he's just cramming eco into whatever areas he can. If he had to build houses, like if he wasn't Huns, I don't know if he could do this. Huns OP on Arena confirmed. Because that's like, you'd have quite a few houses blocking spaces here. So like, I gotta commend Red. Someone says Red is sleeping. Red's not sleeping. Red's fast imping. Listen, the build was unique. He had like 15 on berries, right? Like castle drop with Persians and siege push is kind of, it's just not something that you would expect. But he's going to go fast imp for Trebs right now. And think about that. Like Blue has just built up all this base. He can't attack Trebs underneath the castle. He's going to have big problems against trebuchets, right? And there goes Red on the way to the Imperial Age. In 3 minutes, he's going to be making Trebs. And Red is not necessarily prepared for that. The resources collected is a really interesting stat in this game. The Vil difference is crazy. But I guess because of the inefficiencies Blue had, Blue still only collected 200 more resources. So Blue is going to be producing Tarkans. My favorite unit. Tarkans are good at destroying buildings. And they're good against archers. Those are the two main things. Can be good against other types of military from time to time. Like, you know, they could match up against knights if they have some decent upgrades. But you pretty much, you want to destroy buildings, which you can't do because there's pikes in this castle. Or you want to go up against archers. Commander on unique tech coming in from Red. So he can produce crossbows that only cost wood. He doesn't know there's Tarkans out there. Or at least many of them. I wouldn't suggest that. And Blue just still like turtled up in here. Never left his base once. He is completely surrounded as far as he's concerned. And he does have the Vil lead. He's probably feeling like, man, I'm bringing this back, baby. I'm bringing this back. I'm doing it. And then, and I think we've all been there where you're like, ooh, do I have a chance in this game? I think I actually have a chance in this game. This is actually going to work. Bloop. Opponent's an imp, and you're just like, oh, are you kidding me? How does he imp already? So again, I really like the strat from red. And red knows how to commit. Now, let's see. Blue, I think, immediately thought, I have to take out the castle. And so he's going to try and destroy it, which is epic. I like the play because Tarkans are good at this. But then there's still pikemen here. And so because of the pikes, can't necessarily make that move. And there will be trebs. Now, blue doesn't have the same economy. Has like a much bigger economy than red. So if he could survive somehow, and I think mainly expand, this could be really good. We got camels coming into the mix here. The pikes all die off, so red can't actually tread push right now. Red's not working with near the economy as blue. But the eco balance at home is pretty decent. He's producing bills every now and then. He is going to mix in more camels and pikes. So I think blue right now is thinking I need to go imp as well, which is great recognition. He's moved out here for this gold, which him leaving his base at all right now is important. He's trying to use the market. He's desperate to click up the imp. He really badly needs imp. Still not quite getting there. I think because he's producing Vills and producing Tarkans. He's so stressed right now. I've seen the resources hit imp resources so many times, but he's just so bent out of shape. And now he rings the town bell. Still no resources for imp. Oh no, blue. Blue. Okay, there's the trap. There's the trap. Pikemen hop out. Crossbows hop out as well. But the trap will go down. That's enough Tarkans to take care of that. It's costly investment to take the Treb out, though. A lot of Tarkans died. The castle itself has killed 5 units. But still, you took out the Treb. I remember watching this and thinking it was very indecisive from red. And that the crossbow choice wasn't the best. But remember, it's like... it is a low eco approach, so maybe crossbows that only cost wood is somewhat reasonable? I don't know. Blue still hasn't clicked up the imp. And blue's like, still has not remembered that there's so much like open space here that he might need. This might be because I'm a mean person, but I find games really entertaining when it is very clear the stress that someone is going through. It's very relatable, and it kind of helps with the story. So, blue moves outside the base for a little bit. Blue is held on very nicely, considering. Red, though, is not going to make the same mistake this time. And blue doesn't even know where the opponent's base is. Hasn't seen the opponent's walls at all this game, and is just looking for that right now. Red's going to have Cavalier. Red's going to have Pikes. Red's going to have Trebs. Going to have multiple Trebs this time. And there's Blue's army. He's actually going to research Marauders now so he can produce Tarkans from the stables. Anything he can think of. Now, I have complained dozens of times about how Tarkans used to have sound. They don't have sound anymore, blah, blah, blah. The fact they don't have sound is actually insane here. Because red is going to push, right? Red is focused on this push. And there's attack signals because of the mangonel. So there's like natural to hear attack signals right now. The Tarkans have busted through the gate. After all this time of blue not having any idea what he's doing, he actually gets in. Now, guys, all hell breaks loose in this game. Watch this. Blue's got to dive to take the Trebs. He's desperate to take the Trebs. He's going to lose everything. But he'll take one of the Trebs, maybe. Okay, he takes the Treb. He's losing villagers. He doesn't realize he's losing villagers because he is slaughtering everything that red has. And red has no clue because red is looking at this. And red is looking at this. So red thinks he's a god. And blue thinks he's a god. And both of them are gods. When both of them are taking pretty losses. Pretty big losses. But red is losing everything to this attack. Everything. Except for these vills, which he would lose had he deleted those walls earlier. And a lot of players do that. So, red's still not on the way to imp. Because all hell is broken loose. He rang the town bell, so he's got like 50 idols. The 2 Cavalier here are still killing vills. Red is down to 27 vills, but they're actually safe. And blue, I know this looks really good for him, but this is not. And the 20 idols inside the castle's not. The 9 idols there, the 8 idols there, is just not good at all. And I just think it's funny because I don't think Red has even noticed he lost his eco yet. Blue is looking for more vills. He can't find any. And Red actually signals it right now. So he must have just noticed. I don't know if he's trying to point out to Blue that he noticed it happened or what. But it happened. And now Blue has to stabilize. So the question now is like, who's winning, right? Who is winning this game? Because Blue is going to lose his base if he doesn't hurry up and get some army out. He's going to try Tarkans again. Red doesn't really have a base. Like, Red has these vills. And then I think some forward vills. Yeah, okay, he has these vills, which he's going to try and do something with. Blue's castle falls. Now, Blue's got 20 Tarkans. If the Tarkans are able to take out the Trebs, that would be huge. The commander on tech is coming in clutch right now for Red because the only resource he actually has is wood. So the fact that his crossbows only cost wood at least allows him to make some army. Still not many upgrades, but he's got a lot of units. And so here come the Tarkans from Blue. Blue has no golden come right now. Blue's going to dive. Blue's going to take the Trebs again. Blue's going to find the kills there. I don't think Red noticed that was happening. I think he was looking somewhere else. He's sending Cavalier home. And Blue's going to clear up the Trebs. He's still kind of being raided by that Cavalier. He rings the town bell again. Blue, stop ringing the bell! Oh, it's like the button that can instantly make the situation you're in worse. That's what it is. Stop thinking it's helpful at 1,000 elo. I love you, but seriously. Sorry, I'm stressed. And Blue. Blue has 80 idols right now. Blue has 80 idols, and he has no gold, guys. The gold he's coming to take is here. This is the only place he can actually get gold. So these crossbows that only have fletching are working because it's better than nothing. And Blue essentially has nothing right now. No ballistics, no bodkin arrow. Here come the crossbows. And Red, even though he lost his whole eco, is doing an amazing job. And he waltzes right through here. And town bell again for Blue. And oh man, poor Blue just can't figure this out. Now Blue does get back onto gold. We'll see if Red notices that. Red is producing vills back to farms again, so he's rebooming as well. The food eco as well is a real problem. I mean, we're breaking some records here. Blue has 9 hours of idle eco time before we even hit an hour in the game. And it's not looking great for Blue in this current moment. I would say, like, the only thing Blue can actually rely on to win this game is Tarkans. And in order for that, he needs consistent gold income. Tarkans are actually great against what he's up against. He just can't afford it. And it's just a crazy situation. Red's going to maybe potentially be able to build some vills over here with that sneak TC. Red's 2 ranges have just been continually producing crossbows. And let's see if Blue can do something about this now. He can produce Tarkans from his stables, right? Because he... Oh, no. Oh, Red killed the Mega now! The vills are going to have nowhere to hide! But yeah, you can produce Tarkans from the stables after Marauders. And as you can see, they do a pretty good job against crossbows. But yeah, this is just really bad. If there were a word to describe this situation for Blue, it would be horrible, devastating, embarrassing perhaps, frustrating. I mean, insert adjective here on how this is bad. But he's going to make a run for it. He's going to kill these crossbows because, again, the Tarkans are still pretty good. It's still an option you can work with. He does have a TC here. He's at 77 Vils and Red's at 33. And crossbows are just not a very good choice for Red. But all Red can really afford to make is crossbows because he mainly has wood eco. Like, he doesn't have food to produce camels, really. And even then, he wouldn't have upgrades, so I think the Tarkans could possibly win. So that's right. After Blue has lost the entirety of his base and is currently abandoning what is left of his base, he actually is still in this game. And he's going full T90 farm mode, right? Like, he's just like, more farming eco, more Vils, more farming eco, more Vils. And he's in it. So, yeah. Red is in a really awkward spot because Red probably, like, Red needs to push Blue here. But Red also might notice this and might want to take Red off of Gold. And so, like, what would you prioritize right now? I think taking the Gold makes sense because you just met Tarkans here that could kill you. So you're probably just like, you know, the castles defend this area. I can always come back here. Let's go take the gold. And here comes the Trebs. And here he comes to take some gold. He's going to make the occasional Cavalier as well to have a little bit of a meat shield. But like Blue left this area. And now the crossbows are just back to kill more villagers. Blue's going to be pretty soon have lost 100 villagers in this game, and now Blue's going to come back with the Tarkans. Now, as Blue comes back for the Tarkans and to defend his farmers, he's losing his TC. He can't win. So, and like Red can always produce more crossbows. What Blue does have, though, is he's got 70 Vils. He's going to build another TC here. Could maybe snag this relic for some gold income. But you cannot lose these villagers, Blue. If you lose these villagers, you might be out of it. This would be another big loss, and these are your gold miners. Ideally, you would have been able to hang around with them. And that's Red's focus now. Red's going to chase them down. This game is just absolutely nutty, man. Just crazy. Now, from Red's perspective, I'm going to state an obvious thing. I think if you're going primarily crossbows, at a certain point, you do need to actually get additional upgrades. So Tarkans have 5 pierce armor. Crossbows are doing 6 damage. And so with the 5 pierce armor, they're doing 1 damage a hit. Getting Bodkin would mean you're at least doing 2 damage a hit, which is obviously, I mean, double, which is huge. A University and Ballistics would be really good too. So anyways, just things to think about. And I'm sure you expected the Tarkans to just come over here and kill the crossbows, right? Well, that might not work. So what Blue is going to try again is he's going to break in to kill the economy again. And Red is wise to his tricks. And Red is going to just get the walls in time. And now Blue doesn't have his Tarkans to defend his people. So now he's going to lose another TC. And now he's having some pretty big problems here. Meanwhile, Red has to drop more houses because the Tarkans keep coming. And it's just a mess, dude. It's just a mess. Just an absolute freaking mess. And it's so close. Because the crossbows are still somehow doing a good enough job. And Blue doesn't have gold. Blue has no gold income to make more Tarkans. He has to continually sell. Like, look, he sold all of his wood and all of his stone just to get a couple more Tarkans. Crazy. But, like, what I love about Blue is his insistence on trying to break through here. This is giving Red another thing to worry about. And you can only house wall here for so long if you're Red. And he doesn't have stone. So Red having no stone means he's only ever going to house wall and then needs to send Cavalier over, which do have pretty good HP stats, but don't have any of the upgrades the Tarkans do. And then out of nowhere, blue somehow gets enough. And the crossbow number is dwindling. And even though he lost, he lost his existence 3 times over this game, his vills are still somehow alive. As he approaches 12 hours of idle time. And blue is going to clear up the trebs. Just like exhausting to even watch this game. So let's recap. Blue has no golds. Blue does not have his base that he started in. He needs gold to make Tarkans. He's in Castle Age versus Imp. He can get 1 relic. But, like, the longer this goes without gold, the worse it gets for him. So I think maybe, like, coming over to get that gold is good. Red. 42 vills, which is better than Red was at many points of this game. Relying mainly on crossbows, but has the occasional Cavalier. I would say it's really close, because if they were to fight right now with these 6 Tarkans against whatever Red has, Red wins. The Tarkans are too weak, and the Cavalier are good enough to hold. But, you know, blue is, like, doing a good job at ratting it out and just staying alive. Blue is no stone now either, by the way. So no stone, no gold, just 1 relic for gold income. And the Tarkans getting super close to breaking in. Yeah, so blue doesn't know about this TC, and he didn't even know about the gold there. All blue has is just farms and lumberjacks. And red can produce crossbows for days, despite being down 40 villagers. And is controlling all of the gold in the middle here, and is going to potentially trap the Tarkans. Tarkan goes down. Next Tarkan as well is going to go down. And so poor blue loses his army, and he has to sell more food to make another group of Tarkans. And that's the only thing he can really do. He refuses to quit. He's got 2 relics now for gold income. The only saving grace for him is just that Tarkans can beat crossbows. But can he continue to produce enough Tarkans? I'm wondering, as red stacks more houses around here, I am wondering, is blue going to counterattack again? Attack this gate, maybe? Right? Like, and how long can blue last if he has to use the market and a couple relics for gold? It's crazy. I know it took a little bit of time, but I love how red's right back at it. He doesn't give blue a ton of time. And so here we go. So the Cavalier are the meat shields, and the meat shield is leaving. It's the worst meat shield ever. I think you really want those Cavalier to fight. They're actually doing more damage than you think there. And they're soaking up a lot of the attack as well. Red's going to lose his treb. The Cavalier are withering away. The crossbows kind of withering away as well. Only 3 relics of gold income for blue. That's it. And it's like every fight you see is just so borderline. It's so close. And you're just like, how is this going to ever change? Monk there converts the Cavalier. Blue won't complain about that. And blue sells off 700 food for 735 gold and queues up 13 more Tarkans. No main base. No stone access. No gold access. Blue continues to keep cooking here. And no end in sight. So, I think, like, again, red needs to back up, consider the circumstances, and say, what can help me here? And I think the answer has to be more upgrades on the crossbows at the very least. Now, I don't know if a lot of people think about it that way, right, in terms of the armor and the damage, but it is worth thinking about. Also worth thinking about the fact that blue didn't have bloodlines this whole game. But blue's clearly thinking about what can I do to make my situation a little bit stronger, right? And just no upgrades for the crossbows, or even just like a little bit of extra upgrades for the Cavaliers really hurt. But red has also never had the eco. So blue, he must know his opponent doesn't have stone now. And he's back again, baby. He's back again. The silent but deadly Tarkans are going to try and break through here. They're going to try and break through here on that piece of wall. That'll go down pretty quick. And red is really struggling. Like, red doesn't know what to do anymore. Blue, with his 13 hours of total idle time, has at least been able to keep his vills alive and get them back to work. And red just walked over here trying to get some gold. That's not going to work. Those vills are dead. And there's villagers over here randomly. I think they're maybe trying to come over here to take some of the golds. Siege Workshop does go up. But red just can't keep up with these Tarkans. And blue is selling food at good enough prices, guys. Combined with 3 relics to actually be able to spam them nonstop. Look, we even have Tarkans underneath this castle. We've got Tarkans in underneath the TC. And now blue can bring the rest of them. He's got fully upgraded Castle Age Tarkans. 120 pop. And red has nothing. He's given up on crossbow. He's looking at his eco. And it's just in ruins. And blue continues to sell. The prices are really bad now. Like, really bad. He sold 1,200 wood for 168 gold. But that still means at least 2 more Tarkans. And even the Persian TCs are being eaten. And red's got to be thinking, how did I lose this? Blue's got to be thinking, how did I win this? And the GG's called. And so, as I stated, the person who submitted this, now I'm sure you can assume, was blue. And blue was like, OMG, how did I win this? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it almost felt like immediately after he completed the game, he was frantic and he submitted it into the Discord. What a crazy game, dude. What a crazy game. The thing to remember is this. Red's eco was garbage the entire game. So any like criticism on like maybe red should have had like more, he should have gone pikeman. I think that wouldn't have worked well anyways, because he didn't have a ton of food in wood eco. More upgrades, I think certainly. I think maybe Bodkin Arrow and Ballistics could have changed it. Honestly. Because like up until 10 minutes ago, like blue felt completely dead right here. And so I think if maybe Bodkin Arrow and Ballistics comes in, as weird as it sounds against Tarkans, maybe it makes a difference. Listen, red could have done a few things differently to win this game, but blue could have done a million things differently as well to not be as stressed as he was in this situation. It was just a crazy game. You don't see that every day. Someone loses the entirety of their main base and they end up winning with pretty much booming in the outside. Now, I'm going to tell you, again, the key for blue was leaving, right? And so when you get all in pushed, guys, just my tip to you, trust me, it's going to just change your life, is sometimes you just got to leave your walls, right? They're never expecting you or they don't have the capacity to chase you. For blue only left this place when he was forced to leave it, right? And I think maybe he could have boomed with a little bit more freedom if he would have left a little bit earlier, and that's just my tip to you. Anyways, 1,000 elo is crazy because the commitment from red was nuts, and like the what's the word I'm looking for? The resilience from blue, the fight from blue was also incredible. A lot of people would have resigned much earlier in that game. So also 13 and a half hours of idle time in a 1 hour game is maybe a record. But well played, Raul. Got the job done. Mars says, I've never seen any game like this. Yeah, it was nuts. 60,000 resources collected versus 40,000. You look at the KD, you look at the eco, and you look at all of this, and you just pretty much think, oh, blue just stomped that game. It doesn't tell the full story. It doesn't describe the situation that you saw. And then you look at like the heat map of the mini map, or just zoom through the game, you realize it was a very different situation. Crazy stuff. I love this. Blue's perspective at this position. His opponent is an imp, and he just sees 2 castles. He came back from that.